Hey everybody, and welcome to another series, another episode of Boxing TV. It's been so long, a year now, that I've done a show like this, so it's going to be really, really good. I've got some great guests, got a couple of prizes to go on a little bit later on, but it's so great, again, to be in front of the fans on social media. This is now the 12th series of Boxing TV. Boxing TV went onto TV. We did 48 shows, 45 minutes long per show. I missed you all. I missed all the followers. So my name's Dan. My name's Dan Hewitt. I'm a professional boxing commentator and also the owner of Boxing TV. So when you get up in the morning and you see that news, it's basically me putting it out there. So I hope you really enjoy it. What I definitely want is to see as many comments coming in. I've got loads already. Got Paul Pierce saying, go, let's have a look at him. He's got, yeah, baby, we're back. Man, we've missed this. I missed you too, bro. Top lad. Lisa, hello. Great that you're back boxing. Bless you. I'm not boxing anymore, but still. I've got loads coming in. Sammy, let's look. Sam Camplin. Oh, he's tagging. Okay, cool. Well, great to see you all. Great to see you. Now, we're going to be bringing on very, very shortly. Yes, I love this. Look at this. Hey, Dan, did you sort that rash? No, still there. You can't fix it, I'm afraid. So we've got today traveller, bare knuckle boxer, Dean Lynch Ward. Now I'm really quite, let's say, intrigued as to a few of the things with him, a few of the things that have gone on, a few of the just generally the Irish Gypsy traveller life. It's quite intriguing. We're going to learn quite a lot today, I feel, from him. Now we've got two separate shows, if you like, two separate competitions that we're going to be putting on today. The first one is whoever does the most amount of shares. I'm going to be picking one person a little bit later on who's basically shared, and I'm going to give him a voucher right before Valentine's Day. Legend. Get your missus some flowers, do whatever you want, but make sure you share and make sure you comment that you've done it, so I know you've done it. And I will be picking someone at the end of the show. I'll be bringing Dean on very, very shortly. But first of all, let's have a look, see who else is in there. Got loads coming in here. Yes, been waiting for this to return. Yes, you little legend. Hope you're well, matey. Lee, top lad. Absolute top lad. Lovely to see you, matey. Lovely to see you. So what we're going to do, just to get things started, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Now, I've already tested Dean with this. I'm hoping that Dean doesn't tell us what the answer is here. I can see him smiling in the background there. I know you guys can't, but I can. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to be playing basically Guess the Boxer. And the person who gets it right, which is really tough, really tough, Dean got it wrong, I'm going to give you a chance of winning. Whoever gets it is going to win a voucher, and I'll be emailing that to you straight away, after the show. All I need is your email address. I'll send it over to you. So I'm going to start with this straight away. Who is this? And I want you to comment, put your comment saying who you think this boxer is. Who do you think this boxer is? Make sure you put it in there. Put it in your comment. Who do you think the boxer is? If it is that people aren't getting it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you maybe a couple of clues. But who is this boxer? Tyson Fury from my wife. What a joke that is. Don't think so, though. Mike Tyson. No, it's not Mike Tyson. But you're on the right tracks. J Bam Bam Sansom comes in with Mike Tyson. No, it's not Mike Tyson, mate. Why is my wife commenting here? Duck, I bought it. I can't win it back myself. It's not Mike Tyson. Brett David with Donovan. Wait there. Brett, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt to you, mate. Donovan what? I think he might have it here unless someone beats him to it. Oh, he's only got a one straight away. That'd be mint. You've got to write it in though, Brett, mate, because otherwise you haven't won. Donovan's his first name, potentially. Matt Cartledge with Roy Jones Jr. That's not right. Jason Donovan. Oh my God. Yeah, it's definitely not Jason Donovan. That's for sure. Is Brett going to go in with this and win it straight away? I'll be well happy. Make sure everybody like this video. Straight away, like the video. And we're going to be getting our guest on very, very shortly. It's definitely not Jet. No, it's not Eric Donovan. Who even is Eric Donovan? Someone's going to say Donovan, the football player, the American football player, aren't they? Brett nearly had it with Donovan. Who is the boxer? This is for a voucher, cash monies. Who is it? Okay. Yes, Brett! He's got it. Yes, lad. Good, son. That's him. Razor Ruddock, Donovan Razor Ruddock. Yes, lad. I'm actually amazed that someone got that fast. What a lad. What an absolute legend. Brett, make sure you send me your email. Well, I kind of know you anyway. But still, send me your email. I'll send you a voucher over. Get yourself a bottle of wine or wherever. Yeah, cool. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring on my first guest. Now, we've got two guests today. First one being Dean Lynch Ward, and the second one, actually an amateur boxer. We very rarely do amateur boxing, but one of my followers came over to me and said, will you help support this kid? He's talented, he's hungry. A guy up in Dundee called Luca Flynn. So we're going to speak to him a little bit later on. But first of all, we're going to go with our first guest, which is Mr. Dean Lynch Ward. Dean, how are you getting on, mate?
Hey, Dan, how's things?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm not so bad, my friend. Not so bad.
Good man. Now, I'm expecting plenty of colourful things happening in the comments, so that should be quite fun.
My comments always get colourful.
Mate, I like it. Now, like I say, I'm quite passionate, really, about the Traveller Society and including the Traveller Society and all these prejudices that people have. I think it's not only wrong, but it's just not fair on them. They're not giving anybody a chance. They can't say something's racist or transgender or whatever at one side and then ignore the fact of their prejudice towards the travellers. So tell us a little bit about you, Dean.
Do you know what? Me, I'm just myself. I am who I am. I am what I am, and I'm proud of what I am. I'm proud for what I stand for, and that's pretty much it. But like you're saying, it'll be a long time before we're accepted. Where do you want me to start, really, Dan? I mean,
I'll start with, we're not talking about boxing. We're talking about bare knuckle boxing here, which is very much not just a sport. It is now with BKB, but it's also a big part of the Traveller Society. And
some of that's distilled in myself. My family, I come from a strong fighting family. Some of that goes back. I take my heritage back. Bare knuckle boxing back. It goes centuries. It goes way beyond, And it's used as a sport now. Yeah, but, it's used as a sport, but it's the way we resolve issues. What you got to remember is we get chastised for years of the way we live. We get they look our nose down on us, but yet take our culture and make a sport out of it. It's quite ironic, really, but we still get classed as second-class people. Yeah,
it's madness. So
crazy.
You said about families, and obviously they're so close in the travelling community. Which families are kind of closer to you then?
Me, so I'm Ward, descending from. My mother comes from a place called Tuam, County Galway. Mm-hmm. So she's Ward, and then obviously. My grandmother was Sweeney. Okay. So my strong heritage comes from way back, far beyond. If you take the Wards right back, the original fighting man was Dave Ward, which was my great grandfather.
Wow. Okay.
And if you take this back, this man was walking. He'd walk 40 miles to 3 days to win a fight for food. Do you know what I mean? This is how far back. This is how far back my lineage goes. And then if you bring it back a generation after.
I lost you a little bit there, Dean. Just repeat what you're saying there. You're saying if you take it back.
If you take it back, and if you bring it back to another generation, you had Manchester Dave Ward, who was the hardest. Alan Minter said he'd never been hit as hard when he used him for sparring for Marvin Hagler.
Okay.
So if you look at my generation of Wards and my
again, I'm losing you a little bit for signal there, buddy. Hopefully you come back to me in a second.
I think it's your signal because I'm all right where I am. I never have no issues.
So you said the Wards and the Sweeneys then. So I mean,
Yeah.
some famous Wards. You've got Mickey Ward. You've got Jimmy Sweeney, the bare
Jim,
knuckle box.
Jimmy Sweeney's a cousin of mine. You've got Michael Sweeney, the Storm. You know, he was with MCK. Then you've got his brother Gary Sweeney, who was also with MCK. The list goes on. And like you're saying, you've got Dave Ward. You've got my cousin Garth Ward that's making his pro debut. He's making his pro debut on Black Thrash Promotions on the 18th. So basically, listen, nearly every one of my cousins have fought. We come from a strong fighting family. You know, we all come through the amateur side of boxing. Some of us progressed onto being fighters. But I mean, if you look at a cousin of mine, like you just mentioned, Jimmy Sweeney, 5-time world champion, BKB. Do you know what I mean? It's phenomenal.
On the show a couple of times. He's a lovely lad, really nice lad. Nice family in general.
And what a fighter!
Oh, unbelievable, mate! To tell you, it's just it's so interesting. Check out, guys. If you're on YouTube, make sure your comments coming in. I've got Paul over on YouTube. I've got Les. Let's have a quick look at this actually. So Andy Forrester, one of my longest followers, he's been with me forever. I believe it's true that travelling folk know more about the history of their families than most everyday folk. Do you know what? You're absolutely right there, mate. I don't know who my great granddad is. Just chucking out there. I bet you do, don't you?
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Got one here from Leslie. Don't know anything about the history of bare knuckle fighting, but thank you for the input, Dean. Interesting, and appreciate your time. Top man. Nice one, Les.
Thank you, Les.
So, talk about your background with boxing, then, Dean. What you said about the amateurs, then. So
basically, what's done with me, I was always a young guy growing up. I was always getting into fights. You know, when I was quite hot-headed and wild, so I ended up going to the Fox ABC in Manchester. At that time, when I was growing up, it was a really busy gym. The likes of Anthony Crawler was in there, Denton Vassell. You know, you had these amateur fighters. So I was around that, and then I think I got to about, you know, I had my little spells in and out of jail when I was young, and I got to like 19, and then I met a guy called Ensley Bingo Bingham from Manchester. You know, Ensley played a big part in my life in boxing, and I was with Ensley for nearly 10 years. On and off training, boxing, and I actually turned professional. You know, unfortunately for myself, 2 weeks after I got my professional boxing licence, we had to go to the British Boxing Board of Control, which was in Sheffield. The Ingalls run the British Boxing Board of Control, and you know, I was there and I granted my licence. I never actually boxed as a professional. I got my licence. My life took a different path, to be honest. But in terms of settling disputes, I've always been settling disputes with my hands from the age of 12 years of age. 12 years onwards, you know, it's what's distilled in me. You know, we had an issue. Me and my brother had an issue. You know, we got one of them round the head, and we got sucked out. You go on the cobbles and we fight like men. You know, and that's the way we've always dealt with our culture. So, you know, my daddy made sure that we was in the gym from an early age, training for that. You know, we didn't go to the gym training to be boxers. We went there training so we could settle our disputes. You know.
Yeah. So is that the main reason why you see it then? A lot of this, because I used to box with the Travellers and I still think a lot of them, you know, did me gym mates. So is that like the main reason why they go into boxing, just so they can look after themselves if there's a dispute?
I think for us, really, I mean, we was boxing in my house also from a young age. I think me and my, you know, I think it was more discipline for us as well, for my dad to have a few pints in peace. No, but jokes aside, you know, it's a way of life, and if we didn't get took to the boxing gym, you know, I'd be on the sides with my cousins, and there was a punch bag on there anyway. So it's something that's been distilled in us, and even if we didn't go to the boxing gym, we still would have been starting disputes out with our hands anyway. It's the way we do things in our culture. Now, what you got to remember is when you look at it realistically now, and you know, you can look and you say, well, you got 12-year-old, 13-year-old young boys fighting, and it doesn't look good. I totally agree, it doesn't look good, but you've also got 12, 13-year-old boys now, country fellas, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but these guys are on the street corners stabbing each other. You don't get that amongst our community. We have a problem. We go out have a few clouts and we go home. Yeah, you know, that's the way we settle our disputes. If we go out, we'll have a few clouts and we'll go home, shake hands, fight's done and dusted. Yeah. There's no, you know, we don't shake hands and turn our back and say, you know, this and this. Once you're done and dusted, and that's it. You know, need be, you can call for a rematch if you're not happy with the outcome and stuff like that. But you'll do it in a respectful way. There's different ways. The way, you know, as you get older, you know, you've got a dispute with somebody. You know, what you'll do is you do what's called, we put kicking money down, 5, 10 grand, 20 grand. They have to match it, and then we'll both go off training, and then we arrange a date. turn up on that date, get the fight out of the way, winner takes all.
I love it. Dale Walters comes in. A picture there with Mike Tyson. This just showed up on my phone. I'm an Olympic boxing medalist, 1984 LA Olympics, bronze for Canada. Get in, lad.
Yeah.
Thanks for your comment, mate. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you watch on YouTube, and make sure you share because someone's going to win the other one later. I want to share a story with everybody out there and everybody. I want to say everybody thanks who watch and subscribe and like the content. I really do appreciate it. Something happened with me the other day regarding a traveling family. I was on holiday. I've already told Dean. I was on holiday in Spain with my family. And these two lovely kids, and like they were absolutely lovely kids, a little boy, little girl. And I knew they were a traveling family. The only reason I knew they were a traveling family is because I've noticed that the blokes and the ladies weren't sitting together when they were eating. It's just a common thing, I feel, for the traveling community. And this little girl was so polite. She was playing with my little boy. And she came over and I said, are you a traveling family? And she went, how'd you know? How'd you know? I was like, I just know this certain trait. She was like, I'm going to tell my dad. So she ran off. She was dead cute, mate, honestly. She ran off and she told her dad that I knew that she was a traveller. And she come back and she said, how can you tell from my voice? She said, I'm putting my country voice on. So she actually, in order to try and stop people thinking she's a traveller, she put this like fake voice on. I mean, that's horrible. What's it like to have to do stuff like that? Because that's not nice, mate, is it? Especially for little ones.
Do you know? We enjoyed a lot. We enjoyed a lot growing up because obviously, like you say, you know, we was taken from a traveller lifestyle, you know, to move to a council estate. Not just me, it happened with many of us. And you know, I'd go and stay up at my granny's and stuff like that. We were still on the site, so we was back and forth. So when we've gone to the council estate, we enjoyed a lot of it, a lot of tensions and stuff growing up, and hence that was why my behaviour growing up was the way it was, because I was one of them young boys growing up that wouldn't lie down for nobody. Mm-hmm. It's a shame moving forward. It is the way it is, but you know, at the end of the day, we was always. Dan, I keep losing you, and I've got full Wi-Fi where I am. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear. See you coming, mate.
Yeah, as I'm saying, look, I'm proud of what I am, and it's a shame that these things are still happening. I mean, look, there's still places in Manchester, believe it or not, and there's still places around the UK that's, you know, you go places that says no dogs. There's still places that say no travellers. Do you know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, I'm losing you a little bit. Hopefully you stay with me. Yeah, I mean, the fact that in any way, shape or form that there could be a sign to say people from a certain community shouldn't be in that certain area is absolutely horrendous. I
mean, look, I'll give you an example. This was only last year. We was at a family funeral. And then from the funeral, we've gone into Manchester city centre. Now, you've got to remember, I'm a travelling lad from Manchester. Manchester's a city. You know, I love my city. I love the people, good and bad. Like I say, I get on with all races and all nationalities in my city. You know, I don't have anything against any other race. And I've been going to this. I go to this pub for sometimes, have a few pints, me and two of my cousins, and we'll swing by and we'll go home. After the funeral, we've gone to this pub, and the next minute he puts a sign on the door, knowing that we're coming. You know,
Really?
So we ignore the sign because we're in there all the time. As we walk in the pub, I don't like it. I don't want you all in here together. I'm sorry, mate. We've just come for a funeral. Why are we being, why are we being singled out like that? But and that's what I'm saying. It still happens to the best of us, and you know, we're not fools. We're not the kind of men to lie down while talking about perspective, but we still hold respect. We hold respect for the man's premises. But the point, what I'm saying is, when you've got children now that feel the need that they have to be something that they're not.
Yeah, it's not on, is it?
It's not on at all. And then going back to, like I was saying, you know, they've made sport, they've made documentaries on our culture, they've made sport on our culture, but yet they still chastise us.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah, you know.
It is mad. I want to learn something from you, Dean. And this, just to be clear for any family out there, it's absolutely no calling out or anything like that. I'm just interested. So you've got obviously the Wards, you've got the Dohertys, you've got loads of families. Which families don't like each other? Because I've no idea.
Right,
and I know that might be pretty broad. Don't get me wrong, but which families don't like each other?
You got the Joyces. Joyces are cousins of mine. They don't. Okay. Them and the Dohertys don't see eye to eye.
Right.
They'll never really see eye to eye. obviously I stand with my cousins. I stand with my own all day long. And then obviously you've got some of the wards, obviously that don't get on with. You've got wards that don't get on with other wards as well. I'm not going to get into details of which wards don't stand with other.
Romeo and Juliet family job.
Romeo and Juliet.
Wow.
And then you've got some McDonald's. Not going to say which McDonald's, but some McDonald's that don't like some wards.
That's why did that sound a bit more personal then? But just go out and say it, you don't like.
The McDonald's, the McDonald's I'm on about are good people, or the good people to me. Some of them are actually family to me.
Yeah.
They are good people as well. The ones I'm on about as well, the McDonald's I'm on about, they're a good fighting family as well.
Yeah.
Oh, good man. Yeah. So I mean, look, your disputes. The only thing is, when we have feuds amongst families, they go far and beyond. And these disputes have been going for like 20, 30 years. They're not just, there'll always be one-on-one fights that pop up every so many months. But you'd rather one-on-one fights than people half killing each other and blowing up trailers and all sorts. So, and that's like I said, the be-all and end-all is we deal with our problems in the correct light. But like I said, we still get chastised.
Yeah, I get that. I'm going to challenge that in a way. So obviously the travelling community pride themselves on, listen, we have an issue, we have a scrap, we shake hands, it's done. Why are there still rifts happening then? Why don't they just have a fight and then they're friends again?
Because what they'll do is, what you'll tend to find is they'll have a fight, and then the two people that fought, they'll put it to bed, and then it'll be the people around them that haven't got the nuts to come out and fight that'll instigate it again, and then obviously it'll instigate and reoccur. The be all end all is let two men have a fight, keep your mouth shut, and both go your separate ways. But when two men fight, then you'll find his third party will start antagonising, saying they'll come out and fight, then they'll come out and fight, and it's just an ongoing thing. Then if his brother gets beat, then obviously, because look, if my little brother goes out, which I don't, my brother don't go out. For me and my hold, I'm the one that comes out for my family, for my siblings. I always will do. But if my little brother was to go out and he got bet, then I have to come out. Do you understand me? Yeah, and if I come out and I get bet, then my cousin's going to come out and so forth. It's just the way it goes.
Right. And they literally just okay, fair enough. That makes sense to me.
It's just the way it goes. But I mean, look, 9 times out of 10, it's not. These fights aren't sport; they're genuinely feuds. If we have an issue, it's a genuine feud. Yeah. So even though you have a few clouts and you leave it in there, there's always going to be a bit of animosity there in the fight, win, lose or draw. Whichever the way the fight goes, win, lose or draw, there's always going to be a little bit of animosity still carried on. And if someone did get the better of you, your cousin's going to stand with you and so forth. And it's like a snowball effect. It's like a snowball effect. That's how I can really kind of word it to you.
Okay, cool. And sometimes when it comes to the travelling community, there can be fights made for money. How does that work? How does that work? I mean, talk me through it kind of from start to finish. How do you just pick your best fighter against a best fighter from another family and put so many grand on it? How does it work? Yeah,
you can put it down that way. You can get called out, and when you get called out, and that's the point what I was saying before, if someone calls you out and they'll put 5, 10, 15, 20 grand kicking money down, you kick your money down to get however they want to do it, and it's winner takes all. But when the kicking money goes down, the fight's been confirmed. You both hand your money over to the neutral man. Your neutral man will hold the money. You both go off training and turn up on the day. Best man wins. Winner takes all. And then obviously you've got your bets on the back of that as well. So say my cousin's fighting, he puts 20 grand on. I'll back him 20 grand.
Oh, is that what you do? So you're almost kind of then like a bookie in a certain kind of way. I'm losing you a little bit of a signal, but hopefully you come back.
Yeah, I'm back, mate. Yeah.
Lovely. So it's almost like you can make some serious money then.
Oh, you can make some serious money. Listen, my cousin fought 2 years ago. We put 100 grand was down from our side, and obviously they have to match it. Winner takes all. If it's a draw, it's appearing, mate. If it's a draw, if it's a draw, then obviously both men get the money, shake hands, and walk away. So yeah, they do get a lot of money that gets put down on fights. And
100 grand on a scrap. Wow,
a scrap, mate. There's been more than that in the past.
Yeah, what would you say is the most amount that's been fought for in a bare knuckle fight?
I'd say I've seen 200 grand down before now.
Really?
Mm.
You got to be pretty confident with your man for putting that kind of money down.
Listen, I was the last fight I went into. I went down 30% version of myself and still backed myself 20 grand. So
sound like Chris Eubank now. Giving it at 50%. I want to ask you a question, and it's just because I'm interested. I'm absolutely not in any way trying to pull up crap. I'm just interested. I saw a video a little bit earlier on because you had a well-documented fight with Decca Heggie, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And I saw a video. I don't know anything about it at all. I just want to know what happened. I saw a video of him about 3 weeks ago talking about you, saying something about someone's daughter or something and calling him the N-word. I had absolutely no idea what it was about. So could you kind of put this into context for me?
Right, yeah. So basically, if we take it back, I'll give you a backdrop in terms of where it come from. Decca last year comes and, he gets involved. He gets involved with me and my cousin. He comes down, he does a podcast for my cousin's fight. And, we think this Decca fella is not a bad fellow. He's all right. A couple of months after that, we get in contact with him, just general contacts. And he says, look, I've got a few issues. Can you show me fair play? So we said, we'll get you the best of fair play. Him and the other man come down to Manchester. They arranged the fight. They have the fight. We do another podcast after that, and then we start getting attacked by YouTube trolls and stuff like that. So we get told that this guy's got allegations made against him. So, like we say, and like I say, I'm not going into bringing up no truth from last year, but he says, look. Yeah. So we just basically say to him, look, we were setting up a 3D Fight Club promotion. Now we was doing it regardless of the Decca fight. Now, what we said to Decca, if you're involved with us, we need to see proof that you're not what these people are saying you are. And right. he could never provide the proof. So obviously we ended up having a dispute.
What was it they were saying he was?
The allegations of sex with a minor. Right. And I think there was a rape allegation. Now he was
serious allegations there. It's going to cause some serious crap.
So we only asked him for the paperwork side of things, to prove it. We weren't. To be fair, we know that. You can sneeze and it gets bigger at the end. So we understand rumours can be carried, but we're saying, look, we've shown you the best of fair play down here. We're setting up a promotion that we're trying to grow. You've seen the promotion yourself, Don. But, if you're part of our team, we just want to see prove you're not what everyone is saying you are.
Right. Okay.
And then what ends up happening now is, I put a challenge on him to fight him. If that's not the case, we'll settle a dispute. That way, he's a fighting man, arguably one of the best in the country in bare knuckle. And I put a challenge onto him. It went quiet, and then the challenge come back, and we was going back and forth, and then we both go on the cobbles. Do I carry any regrets from the fight apart from I didn't train? Do I carry any excuses? None at all. We both went out there, and we both went out there and met up, and we arranged a straightener. We got the fight on, and that's the way we do things. That's the way men do things, and I agreed these terms. He said, if you're fighting me, it's going to be in a 12-foot ring, so you can't dance about. I said, not a problem. It's the way to do things. Now, moving on forward from that now, I've basically pursued it and what I realised is I was pursuing something, and I thought realistically, where's everyone else, pursuing it? If he is, I had to kind of analyse it and say, if you get arrested for something, look, I put it to you like this, Dan. If he was arrested 5 times for fraud, but you've never been charged, and I said, show me your NFA paperwork, and you show me your paperwork, and it says on the paperwork, you've been done for fraud 5 times, I'm going to say, Dan, you're a fraudster. And you're going to say, no, I'm not, because I wasn't convicted. So what I say, we were saying...
Was there a similar kind of thing there, then? Because I don't know anything about what's happened there. I have no idea. So these are some serious, maybe some backing on these allegations then, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's allegations. So what we said is, even though you've not been charged, everyone's saying about NFAs, and but don't get me wrong, it is fair to say, if you've not been charged, then, clearly you're innocent.
Yeah, innocent to proving guilty, yeah.
Innocent to proving guilty. So you've got to take that on board. So then moving on forward from that now, for me, I know that I've had a lot better days, when I called for a rematch. He said like he'll give me the rematch and so forth, and then he's pulled the fight and whatever else. But it's water off a duck's. If water off a duck's back. I mean, listen.
Well, just to stop you there, guys. What I want you to do is I want you to see this. Check this out.
You can fight inside, boys, if you want. Don't fight inside. Fight inside, go fight inside. I said fight inside. Break up now, break.
Pretty brutal, that, mate, isn't it? When he must have wrecked that. Bare knuckle on the side, like whack, whack, whack. That must have caned.
You know what? Listen, it is what it is. But you know, you might think I'm a bit nuts in saying it, but you know, when you're in the heat of the battle, there's nothing more better. There's nothing turns me on more than getting one in the face or one in the chin. It's the buzz.
You're still talking about fists now, aren't
we? Yeah. No, but honestly, it's the buzz you get when you're in the fight. You know, I mean, I love it. You know, and I love going out for disputes, and I'll always go out. You know, and stuff like that. And like I said, it is what it is. It's the best way to solve disputes. But like you're saying, you know, we've called for the rematch. If we get it, we get it. If not, we move on. You know, that's life. But
so a fight with Decca Heggie is something you actively pursuing now. You'd want that fight now.
Most definitely, 100%. Because like you're saying, you know, he didn't get the best version of myself, but I got the best version of him, and fair's fair. But I'm not going to sit here and call him out in a disrespectful way or anything like that, because you know, going back, you know, you always have to respect a man that's willing to go in there. It's not glove boxing, it's not, and this isn't disrespecting glove boxers, but you know, it's bare knuckle boxing in a 12-foot ring. We're not jumping around the site, or we're jumping around car parks or the yard, and we're going to be fighting for a long time. You know, it's straight stand and bang in a 12-foot ring. Do you know what I mean?
Listening to Decca on that video, I will say he seemed quite an intelligent, lovely bloke. Actually, when I was, do you know what he did? So he came across. I'm sure he's a demon in the ring, just similar to you. But it's just, he seemed like a nice bloke who liked a good scrap. You know what I mean? Do you feel with a good camp though? Do you think you could feel you'd beat him?
I do believe the good version of me. I mean, if you watch that fight, you know, if you take that fight back and slow it, you know, you're a boxing man yourself and you pundit a lot of fights. You got to remember on that fight, there was no camp for that fight, you know, and I was out drinking and there was nothing. That was just me turning up on natural, just myself turning up. You could see I was well out of shape and stuff like that. And you can't, Decca now is trying to claim glory on that fight with myself, but you can't claim glory on a man that was unfit. Now he's come out on a comment and he said he's basically turned around and said, you know, a half-decent street fighter will beat an unfit boxer. Well, I mean, that goes to outside. A half-fit anyone will always beat an unfit anybody. And he's trying to claim glory from that. So if he wants to claim the glory from it, that's fine. It's not a problem. But he must know something about me for him not want to take the rematch. That's all I can say. Okay.
So you feel that he might be avoiding the rematch then?
I don't really know. I mean, the mistake he made, he came out after that fight and he said he actually admitted that I'd hurt him in that fight.
Okay.
Now, I went down 3 times. The first time I actually went down, I tore my calf muscle. I no excuse though, but I genuinely tore my calf muscle, so I was limited.
Right.
He caught me with a flushing right hand to the temple. He dropped me, but I wasn't out and in trouble. Do you know, when I was getting told take you 20 seconds, but I was genuinely not in trouble. You know, my body conditioning weren't there. The fitness wasn't there. And like you're saying,
which you'll need to recover like that.
You do, and you got to remember this fight. It's not like it's a bare knuckle fight on a yard where I've got time to move around. You know, I'm in a 12-foot space, so I need to be on my A game. If I had gone out and I'd done everything right by the book, I'd done my sparring, I'd done my running, I'd done my sprints. If I'd done everything by the book, and, you know, my conditioning was there, I'd done everything by the book, and I got beat, then I'm the first man to my hands would say I got beat off the better man. But I can't accept getting beat off the better man when I was only a 30% version of myself.
That's interesting. You feel that maybe because of that. Obviously, you can't say for sure because you can't read someone else's head. But do you feel that maybe he saw something that, you know, if you'd have been fitter, faster,
he's come out and openly said that himself.
Right. Okay. Well, what did he say?
He's come out open and he said, look, he's done a few videos. He said the first one was he went, you know. He said, no matter how hard he hits me, he said, I'll get up and keep coming. He said, but that's the man I am, you know, and I will, you know, I stand by that. Like I said, you know, if you want to get me out of there, you want to get me out of there, you're going to have to kill me in there. It's as simple as that. I got up 3 times, and 3 times I got up, I went straight back in the fight because that's what a fighting man's there to do.
Yeah.
You know, you know, that's my attitude, you know, and then, you know, then he said, look, and this the second time around, he said, you know, Dean's boxing ability is like second to none. He said if he was fit, it'd be a different fight. He caught me with a good few clouts in there. But this is him being honest, and he's not saying this. He was just saying this to, you know, and when I heard that, and I thought, you know what, you didn't get the best version of me. And now he's talking about. Then he put something on his social media about speed. Speed will you know, a fit man will beat a man with a bit of speed and so forth. But I'm not being funny. There was no speed off me in that fight. There was nothing. There was no qualities. There was no qualities for me in that fight. It was just me just having a rough old tear up. You know what I mean? And you know, if you want to fight, you know, the next fight, you know, and I'm not just, and it's not a disrespectful way, but he's gonna know what it's like to fight a Ward. Believe me, he's gonna know the fit version of me. And like I said, I go there. If the fight happens, I'll put it on the line. If I get beat, I'm, you know, fair play. You beat me. You beat the best version of myself. Then I can move on.
What kind of money do you think would be on the line in a rematch between you guys?
Listen, whatever he wants to put down, we can put down. He said a few days, probably about 4 weeks ago, $2.5 grand. I said $5 grand. He said no, $2.5 grand. $2.5 grand's peanuts. Let's put it down. 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever he wants to put down, I'll match it. It's not a problem.
Okay. Do you feel? I mean, for what you said, you know, you put 20 grand on yourself when you weren't fit. Do you feel the 2.5 grand is maybe? Because
it's just that
I believe he's going to win, or would he put more on?
I don't know, but you see, for me, I don't even because of the way the fight is. You know, I can get up in the morning and I train for this fight, which I am doing. You know, I'm doing twice a day, and I get up and I'm training for the fight. 2.5 grand. If it was a normal day and it was on any other fight, I wouldn't get out of my bed for it. do you understand what I mean? I wouldn't really get out of my bed for that. I said $5 grand and he didn't want to agree, so I've matched his terms. You know, I can only match what the man can afford. You know, when I'm not.
Do you feel that might be what it is, that he just can't afford more rather than not believing?
Yeah, I think he might not be able to. Listen, one thing you'll say about Decca, he'll always believe in himself and he'll always back himself. You know, and I'm not gonna knock him like that because he is a true fighting man. You know what I mean? He's 16 unbeaten, 2 draws. You know, I'll openly say my fight with Decca wasn't a draw, and that's why I want the rematch. You know, but I'm the first one to admit it. He's no fool in the fight game. You know, let's not take that away from him at all. You know, he's no fool at all when it comes to bare knuckle fighting. But what you got to remember is I'm not designed to fight heavyweights. You know, naturally when I training, like you say, when I was turning over to go pro boxing, you know, I was turning over at 10.5, 11 stone. When I was fighting K1, my kickboxing days, I was 76 kilos.
Right.
You know, naturally, when I train naturally, I mean, what am I weighing now? I'm in 94 kilos now. But, you know, I'll get down to, you know, I reckon another 4 to 5 weeks, you know, I'll be touching like I'll be in the 80 kilo category. So I'm naturally, my body's not made to fight heavyweights. You know, I'm 5'9". I'm not a big guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Decca's a big lad. Do you know what I mean? There's no doubt there. How does that work with kind of traveller bare knuckle? I mean, is there weights or anything of that nature? Because he doesn't seem so.
You have weights on platforms and weights down. You know yourself. Well, you know, I'll kind of educate you. When it comes to bare knuckle boxing, it's down to what's in here. Who wants it most?
Yeah.
Do you know, there's no such thing as weights. You know, you can't call it have a dispute. You know, you can have. So, give you an example now. You're Dan Hewitt. I'm Ward. We've got a dispute. I call you out. I can't expect you to go and lose 5 stone to fight me. Do you know what I mean? This is on the cobbles. It's a different kind of fight. And that's why a lot of people said, oh, he's too big and he's too strong. And, you know, I felt his power in there. And everyone was saying, no, you need a bigger size ring. You know, and I say, well, why do I need a bigger size ring? I'm not coming to dance. I'm coming to fight, whichever way you look at it.
Makes sense.
You know, I'm not coming to dance. And he's a bigger man in a small ring. You've got nowhere to move. And there's plenty of room in a 12-foot ring. You know what I mean? It's all about what's in there.
It's an interesting comment. Interesting comment there from Paul. Yeah, fully fit Dean showed enough to say he can win to me. I mean, there is a big difference. Whether or not I believe you'd win or not is not for me to say. But if it's a big difference just being training properly for the fight and not training. I mean, it's huge, absolutely huge. Lee Hurley said it was pocket money for the 2.5 grand. It is, but like I say, times are hard. Whether or not that's the case, you know. And
that's what I say. I'm not going to knock him on because not everyone's got money, you know. And I'm not knocking him on at all. But I'm just saying, if the fight happens, if he wants to match it, we can match it. I mean, this fight sells on pay-per-view alone. We can pay-per-view the fight and make thousands out of it. But like you're saying, you know, I'm coming as a true fighter, man. I'm not coming in it for money. If he wants to put money down, let's get it on. If he doesn't want to put money down, then, you know, for me, this fight's more about pride. You know, it's not, you know, if he wants to make money out of it, let's do it. It's not a problem. You know, I'm either or. You know, one thing I say, you know, one thing you'll know about me, I will never back out of a fight. And if a fight's challenged on the correct way, with the right channels, you know, win, lose or draw, I'll always come out and fight. whichever way you look at, I won't complain about battleground. I won't complain about who it's against. I won't complain about location. If the challenge is put to me, what I've challenged someone, then let's get it on. Simple as that. I'm a fighting man till the day I die. And, it's a man I am, and that's it.
Like it. Obviously, you mentioned in the past the Furies, of course, proud traveling family. The likes of Tyson, Tommy, John. Have you seen them fight bare knuckle before?
Yeah,
and if so, how good are they?
No, I've not seen any of them fight bare knuckle before, but they do come from a generation of bare knuckle fighters. Sorry, mate. Are you there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy. Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Don't worry, someone's probably and it happens all the time.
Yeah, no, but like you said, they do come from a strong lineage of bare knuckle fighting.
Can you just imagine though, for a second, Dean, you have a bit of beef with someone, you got turn up and Tyson views there, like fucking hell. Like, what am I going to do here? Like, he's about 25 foot tall. It's like a mule kicks. I mean, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you? Turn up 10.5 stone. No chance.
No, and realistically, you have to kind of look at it like, but a bare knuckle fight, the way we settle disputes or the way we do things, it's all about the last man standing and what's in there. Yeah. And I do hope that anyone out there, look at the Mina Decca fight, and this is going to all fighting men that want to go on sites and yards and that. Yeah. Do the way me and Decca done it, 12-foot ring, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, put it on the line. Forget all that dancing around now. Straight stand and bang. You're there to fight, stand and fight. And like you say, my cousin Doug is hopefully going to get a rematch with his fight. It's going to be in a 12-foot ring as well, and you're going to see a different fight when he fights as well. And I hope moving forward that everyone, the way we settle disputes and that, we do it the proper man's way. Small 12-foot ring and stand and fight like proper men. Jumping around yards for fucking 45 minutes. It don't make no sense.
It doesn't. You seem, from looking at videos on YouTube and things like that, you seem to get quite a lot of backlash over people accusing you of being like an Instagram reality star kind of thing. Which, I mean, it's quite. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the videos are actually quite funny. Like how they put it. Someone's quite good at doing the videos, and I was like, someone's put some serious bloody effort into this. Like, so number one, do you know who these people are? And number two, what's your thoughts on this whole like Instagram fame thing?
Right, do you know what? I'm not in this to be Instagram famous. These people have made me. These people have made me like a household celebrity kind of thing, and I'm not in it. I'm not in it for that at all. But the way they've done these edits about me, I used to look and think, Jesus, but when I actually look at it, it's like they're obsessed with me, And, I mean, look, every time I come out and say something, there's about 7 videos that get made on me and get posted, but they do make me chuckle. They
are actually dead funny.
Some of them, honestly, they do make me chuckle. And the way I've got to look at it like this, sticks and stones. You remember the old saying, I'm thick-skinned anyway as it is. And I don't say, like I say, I used to get my back up, but I don't take nothing, to heart, because I look at it like this, I'm willing to go out and do what most men aren't willing to go and do. The majority of them that do these videos and stuff like that, they're in it for a bit of entertainment. I get it. Do you know what I mean? And like you're saying, and like you're saying with the trolling side of things, 99% of these people would never do what I'm willing to go out and do, what I've gone out and done. So
that's
they don't
love
phase
one of
me.
these people come up and fight you. It wouldn't happen, would it? Yeah.
I mean, listen,
there's a famous thing that we put on the other day, Dean, where through social media, where you've got a line of people saying online and giving you crap. There's hundreds of them. But then if you look at another line of people who are actually willing to fight, you'll be lucky if you find one person there. So,
all day long, like you're saying, and I'm not saying, like I say, look, I'm not the hardest, but I'm as game as a bull. It is what it is. I'm not the hardest of fighters. I'm not the best man. But I know that on my day, I'm a good man. And, at one time I used to get my back up with the trolls and this and that. But you've got to look at, that's their side of entertainment and everything else. They don't faze me at all. So, to be fair, they're the ones that have made me Instagram famous.
I love it. There was one when you were walking like slow motion. To be fair, you look well cool. You did look cool. I'll give you that. You had your suit on and that. Like walking slow mo, and this guy's like, I was like, mate, that's guys must sit there like editing you and like.
Dan, can I ask you a question though? None of I even get like mad messages of people, but none of them and comments and stuff. None of them are going to meet me in Manchester on the site, or they're not going to come to the boxing gym and say nothing to me face to face. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, they make me laugh. But
I'm not going to mention names here, but I'll tell you a funny story. And everybody out there, make sure you do me a favor right this second. Like the video. Make sure you share, because I'm going to be giving away another voucher in a bit, so ahead of Valentine's Day. So make sure you share. Everybody share. Like, please. I'll tell you something quite funny. And only maybe people knew. I won't mention names because it's detrimental to his job. But I was live with Amir Khan, and it was me and him. It's a famous story. And I always look back at it. It was like me and Amir Khan talking just like we are now, having a laugh. And this guy come on and called us a nonce, right? And I proper, like, I'm a bit mental, like, when it comes to that, because I was like, he's got a fake surname. So I was like, right. So I spent, I mean, Missy thought I was insane. I spent about 4 or 5 hours scouring everything, pictures, the lot. I'm murdering it. I managed to find out what his job is, what his name is, and he was a teacher. And if you're watching now, mate, I had you, mate, and I messaged him and says, "What's this? You calling me a nonce when you're a teacher?" And he absolutely pooed his pants. To the fact that messaged me later saying, "We are okay, mate, aren't we?" All these people out there, and I was like, because I said, "I'm going to ring the school and tell them you're calling people nonsense when you're looking after kids." He absolutely. What time is it? Oh, it's he shit his pants. Absolutely shit his pants. It was so funny. So yeah, all these people online, they act big and all, but they ain't going to meet you on the cobbles, like I say.
They're never going to come out on the cobbles, and you know, and like you're saying, I just humour them, and you know, I just leave them to one side, because they can never. One thing they won't do is break my spirit as the man I am. They'll never break me as a fighter. They'll never break me as a fighting man, and they'll never, you know, they're never going to do that. So they don't really faze me. They don't get to me at all, and. You know, 100% key. Yeah, totally agree with that, Jay Barn.
Good luck in your fight as well, Jay. I know you're training hard, matey. So good luck in your fight coming up.
That's what I call them, keyboard gangsters.
That's it. So let's say you get this fight with Decca Heggie. You're fit. How would you see that fight going?
Do you know, to be honest, I'm going to have to play the long game with him. You know, I'm not going to, you know, no matter how hard I hit him, you know, no matter how hard I cut him, he's going to keep coming. You know, he's a big. You've
seen it, haven't you?
I've seen it. I've witnessed it firsthand, and you know, when, like you say, you know, I've got to play the long game with him. But I do believe me on midday, fit version of me, speed, my timing, my movement, me stepping off him, moving off that right hand counter. Mm-hmm. I do believe if I get it right, I know it's going to be a long day, but I think, you know, I do believe it'll be going my way. There'll be a lot of people that disagree, and I totally understand why. You know, he's the bigger man, and you know he is what he is. I said, but I'll always back myself.
I love it,
and that's just to see the way it goes. I'll play the long game with him, but you know, I will be the last man standing. I do believe
a lot of blood involved in that. I'm telling you now. I just want to say, Dean, honestly, a massive thank you. Thanks for the insight into the you know the traveller community, and I've learned a few things today. So I really appreciate you coming on the show, mate.
And anytime you want to come to Manchester and you have a walk round, and you know you want to get more of my background, more of my culture, Dan, you're more than welcome.
I'm up there soon, mate. I'm only in Stoke, so when I go up there, we'll have a beer. Anytime, mate, I'll take you down the site with the lads, and then we'll go on off the. I thought you were going to say fight me then. I thought, oh, Christ. So we can put let Dean. Thanks for going on the show, mate. Take care.
Yep. Take care, mate. Thank you.
Later, bud. What a top lad, Mr. Dean Lynch Ward. Now, I've got a special guest to have on the show here, and I'm actually really looking forward to speaking to this lad. I've seen a bit about him. One of the followers came up to me the other day and said, Dan, I've got this lad. Listen, you can never guarantee anything, but he's a talented kid. He's from Dundee. He's only 15 years of age, which is absolutely mint. And people will know, everybody out there will know that when we were probably 15, we probably had absolutely no idea what we were going to do with our lives. Whereas this lad absolutely does know what he wants to do with his life. This lad wants to be an Olympian. He's got a fantastic amateur record. He's from Dundee. His name's Luca Flynn. Luca, how are you getting on, bro?
All right, guys. How are you?
How's things?
Yeah, all good.
Good lad. Welcome to the show. A lot of big time people are coming here in the past, matey, and now we've got the biggest of all, Mr. Luca Flynn. Now, I hear amazing things about you, matey. So, tell us a little bit about you, mate.
I'm 15. I work with a club locally called Lockheed. It was my uncle's club. They used to to box himself, and he passed in 2017. So I picked up the sport to carry on with his legacy. Since then, I've came on leaps and bounds, and it's taken me places where I never thought I would go.
I know you're talented in many different ways as well. I mean, just move your head to the side a little bit. I can see your guitar now. You speak to the right person, mate, if we're talking about music too. Music and boxing, there's not many people that put that together. I'm definitely one of them. So that's it. So you play the guitar and you sing them?
I do a wee bit, yeah.
Are you going to give us a rendition?
Maybe another thing, maybe another thing.
Yeah, that's just direct. No, that is. So tell us a little bit about your amateur experience so far.
I'm a 3-time national champion. I have travelled with Scotland to Hungary, in which I got a bronze medal in the tournament, first time away.
Wow.
I'm currently training full time with Boxing Scotland, so I'm travelling through to Glasgow 3 times a week. So
okay,
it's good. It's getting I'm where I've always wanted to be since I started the boxing, and now I can only go further from where I'm at. So
I love it.
You know,
let's check you out. Watch this guy.
Beautiful. Look at the right hand side.
Ah, well done, Luca. Yes.
Beautiful way around back. Just keep that chin a wee bit lower when you punch it, mate. Right hand. Step back. Keep your angles, Luca.
Seriously talented kid. Like I said to you, I spoke to you on the phone yesterday, and I was very impressed with your footwork, I will say. You must be working on it quite a lot. You're clearly a very, very good athlete. So we said about the Olympics. So what are your aspirations as a boxer?
I want to do it. I want to do it all, really. I want to do the Commonwealth Games. I want to do the Olympics. I want to do well in the professional game. I want to go the whole way with it. It's what I see myself doing, and it's what even at the young age of 15, everything I do, it's for boxing.
Fantastic. And like I say, so I've got a little boy. He's 8 years old. I've got a little girl too, and I was speaking to him just the other day, and he wants to be a game developer, but he's very, very clever, very intelligent little boy. And I said to him, yes, literally yesterday, if you want something, you need to decide young. And I think you'd all agree out there, and keep your comments coming in, because I'm going to be picking someone shortly. So make sure you shared, make sure you've liked if you haven't already. iBoxing Hub, nice one, mate. Thanks for your comment. Much appreciate that. Some love from YouTube. I just said to my little boy, listen, Noah, my son, you've got to decide early. You've got to decide, and you've got to commit fully to that. None of this, I'll do this instead, or it'll be a backup job. Just go for it. There's one life. When we're on our deathbed, it's going to get deep with you here now, Luca. When we're on our deathbed, mate, what are we going to remember? What are we going to remember? We're going to remember the things we did, the things we achieved, the people we loved, and the things we did. Yeah? We're not going to remember that, time that we went, well, maybe a football match. We're not going to remember that time we went to the pub, really. You're going to remember things that really people are going to remember you for. You want to be remembered and have a legacy. And to be fair, you're really starting to do that, which I really like. What's we got here? So we've got Jay. 100% pick while you're young and stay on that path. I completely agree. And I completely understand at the same time that things can change as well. Circumstances can change, location can change. But it's amazing to see that, you're doing so well. Leslie Webb said, Luca, where did the idea of wanting to be a boxer come from? Great question.
I used to go to the club all the time with my granddad when I was really young on a Saturday morning. He used to have keys for the club. So we used to go up and just sort of muck about. It was almost just like something fun to do. So it was my granddad and my uncle, and we would train every now and then. And then in the year of 2017, my uncle passed away with mental health issues.
Yeah.
And with him,
I'll be honest, I didn't want to ask you. I didn't really want to speak about that, but the worst happened as far as I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah,
it's all right. So I wanted to really continue his legacy of where he sort of, left off, and that's where the idea came from. And I've loved the sport ever since I started it full time.
Brilliant. We've got a great one from Andrew Forrester here. Said, if you want something, you have to go for it while you're young. When we get older, we all look back and think, what if I'd done that? What if I'd done that? Don't make this mistake and go for it while you've got youth on your side. Good luck to you, Luca. Top man. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Another one from Jay. Follow your heart, not your head. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So, obviously, being a boxer now, what's your record?
I'm currently 16-6.
That's a fair record for the amateurs.
Yeah.
Thing is, I can imagine you've been fighting good company too. Generally, just to educate people out there in the amateurs, if you've got a 50-50 record, you're a bloody good fighter. Because 9 times out of 10, when you go away to fight, you get robbed. You need a knockout for a draw. So, would you agree with that, Luca? Yeah. Has there been a few times that's happened to you?
Yeah. A lot of the times you're judged down before you even get on the bus there. Do you know?
Absolutely. I've seen it a million times. So, do you watch boxing yourself generally?
Yeah, I keep up to date with it. Yeah, generally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which fighter do you watch the most, and why?
I enjoy watching the highlights, the likes of like Lomachenko and Pretty Boy Josh Kelly. The people with the good speedy hands, the nice feet, stuff like that. Learn stuff from it.
Would you say that was more your style than the fast counterpuncher?
Yeah, definitely.
Saying that, Lomachenko is not just a counterpuncher either. He's very, very intelligent with his footwork, which I've mentioned about you a little bit earlier on. Let's have a quick look here. One thing Dan always does is give these lads a platform. Fair play. Nice one, mate. Appreciate that. Listen, that's one of the main reasons I started doing boxing TV, to give. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've interviewed over the last God knows how many years the biggest legends of the sport, the who's who of boxing. But at the same time, you've got to develop these. Look at young fighters like yourself to help them out, because someone's got to give you a platform. I'm more than happy to. I know you're looking for potential sponsors to help support you. So any businesses out there, any person out there who'd want to sponsor Luca, please get in touch with Luca. I know Luca, if you just want to comment on the video, and people can do that if they want to come and sponsor you. But I really wish you all the best. I really, really do. What weight are you fighting at?
Thank you. My last box start around 57, 58 kilogram.
Yeah.
I'm now moving up to 60. So I've got a tournament a week today. Actually, I've got a tournament through in Motherwell. So hopefully, if all goes well as planned, I'll become a 4-time national champion.
At 15?
Yeah, 15.
Wow, mate. That's some going. I was actually in Motherwell not long ago. I was commentating on a fight up there on behalf of Assassin and Boxing Management's promotion. Lee McAllister. I do quite a lot of work up in Scotland. Some hotel in Motherwell near the train station. You probably know where it is. It's got like grass up the walls. You probably know that, but still, it seems brilliant. Well, listen, mate, I really do wish you. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Anybody who wants to sponsor or wants to follow Luca, where can we find you on social media, mate?
I've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You just type the name up and it'll come. I've got all the social medias that you can.
Yeah, Luca Flynn. I can't imagine there's too many people called Luca Flynn, to be fair. It's a cool name, actually. I'll give you that. Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, mate.
Thank you. I appreciate what you're doing for the amateurs, letting boys like me just coming on and get the name out there. I appreciate it a lot, Dan.
Pleasure's all mine, mate. And I wish you all the best in your career. I look forward to following you, buddy.
Thank you.
Take care.
See ya.
Cheers. What a nice lad. Nice lad. For everybody joining, make sure I'm just going to pick a winner now for the sharing. Make sure if you have shared, make sure you've also commented done, that you have actually shared, because that's I'll know you've done it then. And then it's going to be a cash monies. It's for a voucher. We had a winner a little bit earlier on today. So make sure you share this, make sure you leave a like, and make sure you press done that you've done it. Now, just to talk while you're doing that, I'm going to run through a few guests that we've got coming up on the show over the next 6 weeks. So we're going to do this every single week now. For people who want to watch more of this, and people the likes of Amir Khan, Roy Jones Jr., the biggest fighters in the world have been on the show. We had Larry Holmes the other day. Make sure you check out. You can watch on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. You can also watch on Fight, which there's 48 shows there that you can watch. And over the next 6 weeks, we're going to be going live like this every single week with you. Have a good laugh. I've been a lot more sensible than I normally am. So I will say next week, I'm probably going to act like a bit of an idiot again. But that's just me, so get used to it. With the guests, let's have a quick look who we've got coming up. So next week, we have, it's quite exciting actually, the second installment to the Tommy Morrison story, the true Tommy Morrison story. Now, about a year ago, I spoke to the wife of the late, great Tommy Morrison, who is one of the best fighters of all time. And the truth of it is he didn't have HIV. Everybody thought that Tommy Morrison had HIV. He didn't have HIV. And there's so much that's coming out now through social media, through the courts, that she has evidence that Tommy Morrison didn't have HIV. She's got more news, and he might reopen the case. So I'm really looking forward to hearing that. The week after, on, I think it's the 26th, we've got Nina Hughes, who's the WBA bantamweight world champion. Looking forward to seeing her. We're then having Gio Cabrera. Now, you may have seen it the other day when he tries to shake hands with the guy, and the guy says no, and then he knocks him out. He's coming on, top lad. Exciting fighter, matchroom fighter, Junaid Bostan is coming on the following week, and one of my very, very good friends, absolute one of the best to ever do it, James Toney, is going to be live with us the following week. So I just want to say from my end, really, thank you to everybody out there for following what I do. I just like everybody else, I questioned, am I doing the right thing here? But I love doing this. I love boxing. I love putting the content out there, and I, more than anything, love to support young fighters and fighters coming through. I love to do it. So thank you. Make sure everybody sticks into your boxing, and have a brilliant week. I will see you next Sunday. See you in a bit.